Thanks for the support as a channel member, Michael McCloskey. Arsenal away from home, FA Cup quarter-final, a spot at Wembley at stake, and this is Arsenal's second of 3 games in 6 days. So, you know, they might even rotate a little bit. I think this is probably the biggest game in our history. Hello and welcome to part 81 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the big FA Cup quarter-final game away against Arsenal, which has been moved to a Tuesday night because Arsenal are doing lots of competitions. You know how they love a bit of Thursday night football at Arsenal. Well, they've got a Europa League quarter-final coming up on Thursday. They played Thursday, Saturday. They play us on the Tuesday. They then play the other leg of the quarter-final on Thursday, and then they're playing again on Sunday in the Premier League. If I'm Arsenal manager, this is the game where I'm rotating players. There might be an opportunity here, which would be awesome. We've been in so-so form. It looked for a very brief moment after the Middlesbrough game that we might be in with a chance of the playoffs, but I would suggest with 3 games to go and a 6-point deficit on Bristol City, that's looking less and less likely, but it's still not mathematically impossible for us to end up into the playoffs. But really, it's all about this FA Cup run now, and we certainly need it money-wise. We're somehow back £628,000 in debt. The size of our club does not support our wage budget at all. So we need a big attendance. That's the word I'm looking for the Arsenal game. A big share of it. And ideally, we need to win and keep the cup run going. But I think that's probably just a little unrealistic. And this is the team for the Arsenal game. Pavlov had been injured for a little while, but is fit enough to play. You'll all be very, very happy to know. He missed a couple of games, came off the bench in the Bournemouth game, though, and is now fit to be back in the team. Don't look at that previous form. Look at his average rating for the season. That's the important thing. So we've got Hardy in goal. A back four of Fitzpatrick, Hewson, Malloy, and Dodd. Lastra is injured, I think. Where is Lastra? Why can't I find him? He's suspended. He seems to have been unavailable for ages. He's been suspended for a long time. What on earth has he done? Why has he been suspended for so long? Because he's had 15 yellow cards this season. What a rascal. A 3-game ban for him, including this one then. So Dodd comes in again at right back. Hernandez and Arnautovic in midfield. Bruce, Thorndyke and Scargill behind Pavlov up front. Why is Scargill in the team, I hear you ask? Because again, players being unavailable. It's something of a problem. Murray is injured. Mejia is injured. Even Michael Norman, who's a right winger, is injured, so Scargill's going to play on that right-hand side. Very, very makeshift right-hand side, and a Pavlov up front who's not fit enough to play the entire game, but is also wanted by Fortuna Düsseldorf. So there might be a big money move in Pavlov's future, which obviously will sell him, because that's one of the reasons we continue to play him, because theoretically he has lots of potential. He's a current international, and if we can get £1 million for him, then we don't have to play him anymore, and Husic can just come straight in and take his place. But I know there's a bit of a Husic fan club down in the comments section. He's not been as good as Pavlov when he's been in the team. He doesn't score as many goals. He doesn't get as high ratings, and he doesn't start ahead of him internationally either. They're both Bosnian, and Pavlov's the one who plays internationally. So he's definitely the better of the two. But if we can do a 7-figure deal for him this summer and then just slot Husic straight in, I think that's just about perfect business. That's what we're looking to achieve here. So a big game like this on a grand stage away at the Emirates, this is where we need Pavlov to put on a show and get that price up. It looks like the Emirates is packed as well, which it should be for an FA Cup quarter-final, and it's going to give us a big pile of cash. That is a very good free kick. A very good free kick. I mean, if that's the goal that knocks us out of the FA Cup, we can't really complain. Hardy has no chance. We know he's Mr. FA Cup, but even Mr. FA Cup's not saving that. And now all eyes on Pavlov as we look to get a goal to get us back into the game. I'm not feeling hugely confident. Although he is chasing around nicely. We know he's a pressing striker. He does put pressure on the back four, and that's what I like to see from him. That's one of the reasons I prefer him to Husic, because he works harder. He's constantly in there putting pressure on the back four. Dodd struggling a little bit there, but ball over the top to Pavlov. Pavlov's in, one-on-one with the keeper, and he not only misses, he missed and fouled the Arsenal defender as part of one glorious piece of incompetence. Hardy now with a goal kick. That was a big chance, wasn't it? Ball forward, looking for Pavlov again, who can't win the header. And Bruce trying to get it back on this left-hand side for us. Again, lots of hassling of the Arsenal defenders. Let's not give them time on the ball. If they're going to get to an FA Cup semi-final, and let's face it, if they get through, which they're going to win the whole tournament because they're the only big team left in it. So they're basically winning the FA Cup today. They need to earn it. They absolutely need to earn it. Right, 1-0 down at half-time, and it's only from a free kick. We've had the better chance that fell to Pavlov. It's been a fairly even game. We should be very proud of what's gone on so far. Arsenal are starting to get frustrated, which is good. We're motivated. Let's have a little bit of creativity. Husic is now warming up because Pavlov's not fit to play an entire game. So Husic is going to be coming on in a second anyway. This might be the day where we decide Husic is our striker if he comes on and scores. Malloy playing it forward, looking for Fitzpatrick. It was a weird pass to attempt, and it did not work at all. But Mr. FA Cup, Alan Hardy, is there to make a pretty comfortable save. As usual, now we are going to make that Husic for Pavlov substitution. Scargill, as you would expect, struggling on the right-hand side, but there's no one else who can play there. I guess, in fact, Hernandez can play there, apparently. So Hernandez is going to go forward and play there. We're going to bring Clark on in the midfield and shuffle those two around. Hernandez is happy being an inside forward. He's playing massively out of position, but Scargill was not having a fun time. So let's see if Hernandez fares a little better out there. Tries to get the cross in as his first act as a winger. Dodd succeeds. It falls to Bruce. Bruce with the chance, and it's straight at the Arsenal keeper. But that was an enormous opportunity for Bruce. He's scored from that position so many times this year. Arsenal are in, and Mr. FA Cup, Alan Hardy, makes the save again. There's 50,000 people inside the Emirates. It's not sold out, but I think this is the biggest attendance we've ever played in front of, and it's from a set piece again. They've had to do it with set pieces. There's a lot we can be proud of from this performance. The fact that they've not ripped us up from open play. It's been 2 set pieces that have basically knocked us out of the cup. We're not done yet. Let's see if we, a goal would be nice. Let's push forward. Continue trying to attack. We're going to take off Thorndike and bring on Casey Grayson, who's just been called up for the US under-23 team. So there's definitely some potential in him as well. Still very young. It'll do him the world of good to have a little bit of game time in a match like this. Bruce has just picked up a yellow card, which presumably is going to mean a suspension for him for the next match. Hernandez looking up, couldn't get the ball forward. I mean, we look like Bourne. In fact, that's not even fair. We don't look like Bourne against Arsenal. This is like, we look like Watford against Arsenal, or Leicester, or, we look like we belong at the same level as them. We've had more of the possession. We've been fairly even for every stat. We don't look out of place in this FA Cup quarter-final, which is huge credit to these players and the incredible run of form that we've had again. I suspect it's a rotated Arsenal side, because you would think that a team that's got to the quarter-final of the Europa League should find it a little bit easier to get past the likes of us. There is their first goal from open play. It's taken them until the 87th minute to get it. And 3-0, looking at the clear-cut chances, is fair, but we don't need to dwell on it. We gave it our all, and hopefully a 50,000 attendance is enough for us to clear a big chunk of that overdraft again, which is important, which is what we want to do. And let's see if we've managed to do it. So we got $7,000 for losing, but what? Where's our share of the attendance? I thought we were supposed to get a big share of gate money. If you're a Name in the Game channel member wondering why I've not posted this youth intake up, this is why. If you really, really want one of them, let me know down in the comments to this video, and if you're a Name in the Game member, I'll change it over. But Yeah, there's not much there, is there? Again, we need to up our youth intake. I don't understand why we've not had a big bunch of gate money there. Why? Does it take a while to come through? Does the FA Cup not work the way I always thought it did? I'm very upset. Little handful of changes for the Sheffield Wednesday game then. Riley comes in at left back, who is a young left back who we brought him in the summer. He's one of the failed youth prospects who over the course of the season seems to have done a little bit of a Mick Powell behind the scenes. Already a 3-star current ability left back, which makes him as good as Fitzpatrick and Barnes, the two lads who are in on loan. So I don't think we're going to be chasing lone left backs next year, because we've got this guy who's got 5-star potential. I think Kevin Riley might be our left back for next year. I've also brought Lastra back in at right back because he's now fit again. Fitzpatrick moves forward to play on the left wing. Clark is going to play in midfield alongside Hernandez, just because I like John Clark and I feel like we might be reaching the end of his Bourne career, because as he's a little bit older, I mean, he's only 28, but he's not been a regular starter this year. Hernandez and Arnautovic are key, and I kind of want to get him in there to give him the opportunity to win a spot in the squad for next season. This isn't a nothing game. Sheffield Wednesday are 2 places above us. We're both still in with a chance of these playoffs. So it is important that we can get a result. It's harder to do with Scargill still having to play out on that right-hand side. But at least with Arnautovic on the bench, we've got someone who can come on and allow Hernandez to push out there. I mean, to me, there's logic to it. Maybe it's flawed logic, but at least there's a thought process we can all follow, even if we don't agree with it. Lastra on the overlap, looking for Pavlov in the middle. Cross comes in. Pavlov's there, and it's straight at the keeper. When was the last time you saw that man score a goal? He's going to finish the season as our top scorer. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if he won Player of the Season. It is the most insane scenario of players not performing for the cameras I have ever known in Football Manager, because when you're not here, he is so good. Pavlov's in again, and he knows you're there. I don't know what we do about this, because obviously, if we do manage to sneak into the playoffs, you're going to have to see those, and he won't perform them, so there's no point in us getting into the playoffs. And now we've conceded a goal. I mean, if we lose here, we're not getting in the playoffs anyway. It still doesn't become mathematically impossible, but it becomes so improbable that I probably won't even bother showing the last 2 games of the season after this. If we manage to lose today, although it looks like Bristol City have lost their game that they had. So if we were to find a way to grab a win here, we'd go into the final 2 games at only 3 points behind them and in with a real chance. Looking less and less likely to happen, though, as Sheffield Wednesday are really trying to claim that spot. We need to show some passion and claw ourselves back into this game somehow. And because 23 minutes on the clock, I think we're just spent. I think we gave it our all against Arsenal. We've massively overperformed this season. And I just don't think we've got anything left to drag us over the line and into these playoffs. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. If we went up, we'd obviously come straight back down. And we're just making sure that we don't go up with a very poor performance against Sheffield Wednesday. It's, I mean, it's not even that they're dominating us in the game. Stats-wise, we're fairly even, but they're just, I don't know, it does seem like we've given up a little bit. Which maybe we have. Maybe we know that that's for the best. But I'm going to rip this lot apart at half-time because I'm not at all happy with how we've just played. Aggressive. I expect to see many different performance-ness. Good team talk. We've gone attacking as well. We're going to go down swinging. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Ball forward. Hewson wins it back. Clark in midfield. Looking for options. Finds Lastra, who in turn finds Scargill. It's back with Hernandez, who sprays it out for Riley on the overlap. Our first proper look at him. Cross comes in. Pavlov's there! You've finally seen Goran Pavlov grab a goal. You can also see his bald patch from here. It's the 16th goal of the season for Goran Pavlov, and we're back in this. This is where we need him to step up and decide he can play in front of you lot, grab himself a second-half hat-trick, and help fire us towards the playoffs. It's a lovely header from Pavlov. Excellent cross from Riley, and it's all to play for, boys and girls. Let's get creative. Let's get the ball forward, and let's grab another one. If we can enter those last 20 minutes with only 1 goal in it, I'm so glad Hardy was awake there, then we might just be able to believe. It's an absolutely packed out Abbey Lawn. I've never known an attendance this big for a league game. Nearly 5,500 people here. Half of them are from Sheffield Wednesday, but the other half are Bourne, and that's the important thing. Lastra flicks on looking for Scargill, can't find him. We're creating panic at the back for Sheffield Wednesday, which can't be bad, although they're now trying to counter-attack on our panic attack system, and that's probably that. That's probably that, isn't it? We had to commit men forward. We looked promising for a little while, but I think that's probably killed us off. I don't want to see it. I don't want to relive it. 4 goals conceded at home when we're 3 games away from the end of the season, still with a chance to go up. It just shows we were never really in with a chance. Birmingham and Stoke are quite good, by the way. Both up over 100 points with 2 games to spare. Right, Thorndyke is going to come off for Bruce. And we're going to bring Husic on as well because Pavlov still isn't fit to play properly. We're going to shuffle this whole midfield around. And I'm going to get an Arnautovic on as well. Right, we're going to completely shuffle. Who did I just bring him on for? I wanted to take Scargill off, but somehow he's still on the pitch. Right, I was going to stick him up front. He's going in there. We don't have anyone who can play out wide on the right, which isn't ideal. Scargill can. So maybe we leave him out there. Stick him in there. After all that shuffling around, we're going to end up back in the same shape we had before. There you go. What a kerfuffle it took to get us back here. But we want to stick him on an attacking instruction to really get up there with Husic. Right. Go for it, lads. It's probably your last bit of time on camera this season, because I don't think I'm going to show the last 2 games because we're not in with a chance. Obviously, if we win the first one and everyone else loses, I'll perhaps come back for the second one. But in all likelihood, we're probably just going to go straight into the transfers tomorrow, just because it feels like we're just going to be dragging things out by showing those last couple of matches. I've admitted defeat. I think the game needs to just catch up and prove that we're going to get defeated. We're having 10 minutes of passion to finish things off. Fitzpatrick, true to form, gets in and just shoots straight at their keeper like he has done all season long. I don't think we'll be bringing him back. Watch me bring him back now, because there won't be a better option. But the combination of having Riley and Bruce as options that we've got as actual Bourne players, there's not really any reason to have him in. Husic is in here, and that's a lovely finish from Husic. An 11th goal of the season for him. I know. He's played less games than Pavlov. I know. He'll be my striker next year, because Pavlov will leave this summer. You'll never have to see him play again. That is a nice finish from Husic. Right, let's keep demanding more. You never know. We've got 2 minutes left. We might be able to salvage a draw or something. We ain't salvaging anything, are we? That wasn't a great performance. I'm not happy with what's just happened there. It's motivated everyone, but we've got to play Forest now. Yeah, I'm not showing you these last 2 games because we're not going to win them. And even if we do, goal difference and stuff means we're not going to go up. So we'll just be back tomorrow for a transfer special. If we end up back for the playoffs tomorrow, it means something remarkable happened, and I'll try and summarise it for you in that video. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.